The Magic Adventure of Alicia Purple by Park Duck. Hi, my name is Alicia, but please call me Ellie. And about an year ago, I had a writing assignment, and it was about fairy tales. This story is about my adventure last year. Once upon a time, I opened my rainbow-colored locker. I had painted it last semester, and I found a giant black hole inside my locker. I tried to get a closer look, but the black hole sucked me in with all its power. Ah, help! I yelped. That's when I fainted. At least, I think so. Ugh, I groaned. Then I woke up. Then a mysterious voice said, "Well, hello there, darling. What is your name?" The voice was a little squeaky, but mostly low-voiced and a hint of melancholy in there somewhere. So I slowly opened my eyes and I saw her, a witch-looking woman who was almost as small as an average fourth grader and who had a large, huge nose. But out of all this mess, the most remarkable thing about her was her legs, those super hairy legs. So I answered her question like I always answer questions like this. "My name is Alicia, but please call me Ellie," I answered. "I am the witch of the desert," she introduced herself. I looked around. There were trees everywhere and vines hanging from every single bee tree. I was pretty sure we were in a forest. "What are you doing in a forest?" I asked. "Well," she paused, then she continued. "All my magic has been released by an accident. I chased my spirits of magic here, but now I can't find the spirits of my magic or get back home to my witch hut, so I have to spend my time in a camp." She scratched her chin like she was thinking really, really hard. "That's why I've summoned you here to help me find all the ingredients to get me back home. If you don't, you'll have to be my servant for the rest of your life," she uttered snottily. I was really just stunned. "What? No, never. I did not sign up for this," I cried. Then she looked at me for a millionth of a second like I was crazy. I know that look, the way adults look at kids for a millionth of a second. But anyway, she handed me a piece of old-looking yellowish paper. It read, "Ingredients to teleport. This piece of paper, gargoyle's eyeball, morning dew, a unicorn tongue, and strawberry shampoo." Get all the ingredients and come to this camp," she ordered. She pointed at an arrow sign that says, "Witch's Camp, 2 miles from here. You have 3 days and 3 nights," she said, and she walked away with her nose high in the air. So I set out for a new adventure to find these ingredients. I decided to get the gargoyle's eyeball first, since it was number 2 after this paper on the list. But how was the question? I thought what a gargoyle was. It was an ugly creature that was imaginary and originated from France. I wasn't sure what country we were in at the moment. Then I saw a poster. It read, "Wanted from the government. Gargoyle Kerkogale, alive or slaughtered. $2 million. P.S. We'll know if you get him." Okay, so all I had to do is catch this gargoyle beast, and I get to earn a fortune, and get the eyeball. It seemed like a great deal to me, so I wandered around in search of gargoyle Kerkogale. Just then, I heard a rattle, clink, clink. Then I saw it, the ugly, pure evil, crime-making Kerkogale. So I quickly and silently collected some nearby rocks as I approached it from the back. As soon as I got enough rocks, I started throwing them at the evil monsters. "Gurgle, gurgle," it cried. That sound reminded me of angry visitors complaining and grumbling about terrible hotel service. I believe I threw about 17 rocks until the monster fell to the ground with a bang and a painful-sounding crash. I thought he must have broken his poor, humongous skull. There was a long pause, and suddenly, out of the blue, there was a quick, "Go, now!" And police officers jumped out of trees, and photographers swung down from vines, and reporters popped out of the bushes. There were camera flashes everywhere, and an officer asked me a question. "Did you kill that gargoyle?" So I answered, "Yeah, you can say that." Another officer exclaimed, "You just won $2 million. Oh my God." I said thank you like 100 times. Then my phone rang, telling me I had just won a fortune. I also asked that if I could get the eyeball as a prize. They said, "Sure, no problem." I looked at the piece of paper. Morning dew was left. I followed a flowing river that went west. I had learned in social studies class that a river leads to civilization. So I think about 30 minutes passed, and I came across a town called Morning Glory Towns. And as I continued walking, some really nice villagers greeted me with a warm smile or nodded hello. Soon enough, though, I saw a shop. It was called Morning Dew Cafe. "Hello," I greeted as I walked inside. "Hi, would you like fresh morning dew or lemon coffee flavored morning dew?" a cheerful lady behind the front desk happily asked as she escorted me to my seat at a table. Actually, can I get fresh morning dew takeouts?" I asked. "Oh, yes, surely. What size?" "Medium would be great, thank you," I responded. "Spectacular choice," she remarked. "It's $1 million. Is that okay?" she said, smiling really hard. She said this in a way that it really sounded like nothing. "Okay," I shuddered. I put my phone on the scanner. Ugh, how expensive. Anyway, I mumbled to myself, "What's next?" "Ew," I complained to myself, but just as I walked behind the shop, I noticed the sign that I was leaning on. It pointed north, and it read, "Enchanted Forest, 20 meters away." So I followed it and headed north. Soon I saw a forest full of bright purple and pinkish-orange trees. "Yippee, an enchanted forest!" I whisper-shouted as I wandered around in hopes of finding a dead unicorn with a tongue. Then, about 40 minutes later, it was so dark. Suddenly, the witch of the desert appeared again. She had followed me all the way to the enchanted forest and set up all these posters and meant to help me on my journey. She said it was fun for her. Then she suddenly got all angry and stared at the dimly glowing moon. She turned right back at me. "You have one night after this. I told you. Give me the things you have now," she demanded. "Okay, I can do it. Geez, here you go. Take it." I was really annoyed by her temper. She left me a plastic bag and a bottle. I took the 2 items. She then suddenly jumped into one of the bushes. "I'll be watching you," she warned. Her eyes were the only thing I could see through the dark. I was really tired, though, so I climbed a tree and drifted to sleep. Then the next morning, I was woken by a shooting sound. When I opened my eyes, a hunter was shooting the yellowest unicorn to death. I think it would have been famous for its color and species name matching. Unicorn, really yellow. But anyway, it was dead meat now, and I couldn't really do anything about that. So I asked the hunter, "Can I buy that tongue from you?" It was kind of awkward, but the kind man said, "Hello, and yes, it's $1. Also, what's your name?" I answered, "Thank you, my name is Ellie, or Alicia, and, I digged through my pockets. "Here's the money," I said, while giving him $2. And I hugged him so hard, I was almost positive he would just pop with the bubble sound. Fortunately, he didn't. I gave him the plastic bag to put the tongue inside. I opened it for him. I thanked him a lot. He just smiled very warmly at me. She reminded me of Dad. I kind of missed him since I haven't seen him in a while now, but I can think about that later. I gave the kind man a big smile as I walked away and asked, "What's your name?" And he answered in his beautiful voice, "Gail Crimborn." Gail Crimborn, now that's a name I will never forget. Anyway, I saw a poster that had landed on my feet. It was blown here by the wind, probably. I quickly picked it up. I read it out loud. Mix plain shampoo with strawberry mush. Then add honey and for smells and feeling. Next, add sugar into the mix to make it sweet. Then from out of nowhere, the 4 ingredients showed in front of me. There was a post-it there that read, "Chop, chop, hurry up." I quickly started mixing and pressing ingredients together. That smell was amazing. I quickly and carefully poured the shampoo into the bottle the witch had given to me. I ran past the Enchanted Forest, the Morning Dew Cafe, and out of town, past the normal forest, and into the camp. The witch was waiting patiently, which was a big surprise. The witch asked, "Did you get all the ingredients for me?" "Yes," I screamed. "Show me," the witch demanded. I quickly showed her the paper. Gargoyle's eyeball, the morning dew, unicorn's tongue, and lastly, strawberry shampoo. The witch mixed all the ingredients together, the paper ripped into pieces, and made a magical potion. Then she ordered that I take a sip. So I did, and then I disappeared into the brightest light ever. When I woke up, I heard my dad's voice, "Ellie, Alicia, you're awake." I looked around. I looked at Dad. I just really jumped into his arms like a baby and started crying. "Oh, Daddy, I've missed you," I wept. "Oh, Ellie, you've been gone for 3 days." Do you have an idea of how worried I was? Dad started crying too. He told me all about Mom and him being so worried about me. And we left the hospital. In the car, I checked my phone. I still had the $1,000,000. Yippee! It wasn't a dream. The end. Written by Ducky Park, illustrated by Ducky Park 2. Thanks for listening, and I hope you had fun.